Okay, hello YouTube, and now I was all carried away about this Volta, and I still am, but this topic today is tech talk about the Wattake of the vacuum and how much you get when you double the Wattake. And now we have Volta F1 with that 2100 watt single stage Chinese motor. Sadly, that nice two-stage motor died, like you know from the previous video, and there is a lot of videos about this even with the original motor. Now we have this for comparison, this Nilfisk GM80 with very big full metal two-stage motor, and it is bigger than any other two-stage motors what I have seen. Now, this might be a bit rant, this video, because there is limitations in vacuums, especially canister and cylinder vacuums, how you want to call them. What you can pull airflow and suction, mainly airflow. Now there is that hose, but is quite limiting factor, quite a lot. Now, it doesn't work like a lot of people think, that when you double the Wattake you are getting huge amount more airflow and suction. No, in this case it doesn't really work that way at all. Yes, this Volta is more powerful than this, but just a bit, not much. So let's go actually to the numbers what we got from these, what I have measured, and I have measured those many times. So hose end airflow with this 1100 watt Nilfisk is 107, and that is that over 8 feet long hose. But when you connect that, what I was experimenting, a bit better flowing hose, quite a bit better flowing hose. I use a Philips hose, what was thicker. We got 117 CFM. So Nilfisk hose 107, and that Philips hose what is thicker 117. Now surely that 1000 watt more is getting you at least 150 CFM. No. So Volta numbers. Hose airflow is 117, and well, there is not much difference, is there? Now we are comparing very big, physically very big two-stage motor to cheap, very high Wattake single stage motor in this Volta. So I had the motor and I used it. Motors are not cheap, especially when you have old vacuum and you really don't want to spend a lot of money, because it can get expensive. Now suction from the hose end is something what these high watt vacuums with very high RPM do better, but that actually doesn't really matter too much. Nilfisk 80 to 82 inches of water lift and Volta 105 inches of water lift. Now nozzle suction, nozzle airflow, I don't put nozzle suction numbers here because I didn't measure them from the Nilfisk. So Nilfisk 88 CFM with the original more restrictive hose, so 88 CFM from this, and from this 90 CFM. So 2 CFM more and you are using 1000 watts more. So it's not so simple that you really can't calculate that. Many are just looking for how many amps or watts the vacuum is using. Now both have very simple air path, and that is not the reason for those differences. A different thing would be if we would compare bagless to backed vacuum or something like very restrictive vacuum when it comes to the opening of the ports and air path and so on. But anyway, gain from that 1000 watt more is pretty slim. Now this is especially very well designed, this Nilfisk, but it comes to the air path. But actually I remember those early 90s commercials from the Volta showing how simple the air path is, making it suck better. So that was always what those commercials talk about is suction. So there is that. Now obviously this comes why we saw these results is that these motors are totally different. This is a standard size, nothing special, one stage motor, so one turbine, Chinese made, that also makes a difference, and using a lot of power. Now Nilfisk motor is something what we probably never ever see again. This is from the 90s, I believe, or even from the 80s, I'm not sure, but certainly not from the 2004. So it's a very expensive motor, that Nilfisk motor. So I just did this. I removed the power head connection because I wanted to make this look original as possible. So, and I saw the motor again and I was like, this would never ever make sense today to make that motor because it would be insanely expensive. So what they use today is very similar to the Miele motors, single stage, fan casing is metal and vacuum, that body of the motor is plastic. So these both are motors in these are both full metal, but Tone of the motor is one thing. When you have a very big two-stage motor, and I also mean double turbine high diameter fans in this case. It's softer, it's not quiet, this vacuum. And this is screamer, so high pitched scream, but it could be worse. I have heard so many screamer vacuums that this is actually okay, and so on. And now also you can see that this Nilfisk is not big at all compared to this. Now in the early 90s and 80s, canister vacuums were quite big like this Volta, but not much smaller today. So that is something what I have never said in my videos, is that this is not actually so big than you think it is. It's just footprint is pretty small. Now that is totally off topic, but anyway, let's wrap this video up. This was a bit rant, yes, I know, but there was a reason why EU stopped those insane wattaki motors, because we were maximum of 2500 watts, so that doesn't make any sense. So current limit is a bit low, but yes, there is 900 watt limit. Now, what is the positive thing about that is that it forces quality manufacturers to make vacuums that are using all what the motor can give it. So basically they are building the vacuum around the motor. In those cases where the vacuum is actually decent quality. Now there is still bad quality vacuums and horrible designs with very bad performance, but I am not going to go to those. But also 80 decibel noise limit is probably something what these wouldn't pass. 2100 watt and 117 CFM and 1100 watts, 107 CFM from the hose end. Suction, 105 inches of battery lift and 80 to 82 inches of battery lift. So when you have high quality, very expensive motor, you don't have to use so many watts at all. You can get away with much less than those cheap Chinese motors can do. So yes, this was comparing these two and what I have measured and so on. So this video is not going to get many views probably. I don't care, but because this is my thing, what I like to do and film and explain. So there is that. I hope you stick it around this very boring video for many people. Stick it to the end and watch this. I really would like that, and I hope that this sound is now better because I have my old Canon filming. Also, I can show you that tripod what I made, because there is some problem with my cell phone OnePlus Nord, original Nord, because that sound goes like off the cliff when there is too little noise. So basically it cuts out a bit. So there is that. And now finally I let you go, and thanks for sticking in, and there is that. I like both and I keep both. This yellow stuff had to go, but anyway, come on, let's end this video. Thank you for watching and goodbye.